you want to run us through the Brucey take him off game and just tell us what happened in that whole melee?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I didn't know an awful lot about it. It was me that went down with cramp. So Ned kicked the ball out so that I could get attention. And this was like the first season of like that sportsmanship where normally if someone went down injured, you'd just play on. And then they kind of brought in this thing where you kick the ball out and then the team would give the ball back to you. But that was pretty new. So I went down with cramp. Ned kicked the ball out and Arsenal were meant to give us the ball back. And it was Ray Parlour threw it to Overmars. We were all stood still. Overmars ran and squared it to Kanu. And Kanu scored. And I thought it was Overmars' fault because he'd run it down. But they were saying it was Kanu's first game in England and he didn't know that we were meant to give it back. So there was all kinds of excuses going on.
It's got to be Overmars' fault, surely.
He could have given it back, couldn't he? He could have got it from Kanu, gone, right, Kanu doesn't know the setup, I'll pass it back to Alan Kelly, and on we go.
There you go.
But Ray Parlour threw it back to Alan Kelly, surely.
Yeah, that was the theory. I think he thought that Overmars was going to kick it back. But then obviously we'd all stopped. But to be honest with you, I was like kind of limping off and sitting in the back of the dugout. So I kind of I hadn't seen any of it. I heard the roar. I thought they'd scored. And then all of a sudden our benches cleared. Everybody swearing at the referee. It was just straight carnage. And I was sat there wondering what was going on. So Brucey was calling us off the field. And thankfully they didn't go off the field. And we played it out and got the replay.
Well, sort of, because we lost the game, didn't we? 2-1. And then Wenger offered us the second game, which I think you scored in the second game, didn't you?
Did, yeah, I did. But we were 11 minutes away from getting the replay back at Bramall Lane.
We've done them.
They wouldn't have wanted that, on a Tuesday night in January, February time. That would not have been good for them. So it was like a half-hearted replay, wasn't it?
Very, very rare. I don't think it's ever happened again anywhere.
No, it never before or since, I don't think, for bad sportsmanship. So it was, that's like, I played well in both games. So I just really enjoyed it there. And first game, I tried swapping shirts with Tony Adams after the game. It's the first and only time I tried swapping shirts with anyone. I went up and I was like, hey, Tony, can we swap shirts? And he looked at me and went, nah, piss off. That was it.
I was going to say, how did you try and swap shirts? Surely he would have just given it to you, but not Tony Adams.
He didn't want my shirt, that's for sure. So,
did you not try and get anyone else's then?
After that, never.
Oh,
one and done.
Wounded.
You should have asked someone else. You might have got one.
Well, I'd say I interviewed Martin Keown and we fell out after about 5 seconds. So I'm not sure you should have tried anyone else on that back line, to be honest. You probably...
Martin Keown. I played with him at Leicester and I remember I'd had Nathan Blake was at Leicester as well. And me and him had nearly got into a scrap in training. And he'd have killed me, Nathan Blake would. But Martin Keown was in the dressing room afterwards trying to tell me that I had to be much calmer on the field and not lose my mind. Keown. And of all the people in football to be telling me that.